YouTube, what is going on in today's video? Listen, a lot of leaks have been dropping these past couple days and we have a lot to talk about. Today, Raven Software, as you guys can see on your screen, put out a post on their Twitter saying that you guys may notice something a little bit different. In preparation for future updates, we are now back to 150 players in the battle royale mode. This is absolutely massive because on Verdansk there was a lot of some backlash and a lot of slack for when they moved on from the 150 person mode, especially with Warzone 2 and Verdansk coming back next month. A lot of people are super excited for the 150 players potentially coming back, and today Raven Software confirmed that is already active in Urzikstan. And we had some gameplay this morning that I went ahead and tried, and let me tell you guys, 150 players felt amazing. But I will say, even though there are 150 players, Urzikstan in general just isn't very like active. It's not a very active map, and the POIs are kind of like just not very great. There's not a lot of hot drops like Superstore, Hospital, even like Lumber, Boneyard, all that stuff on Verdansk. So for Verdansk specifically, this is going to be absolutely massive. There are also a lot of other leaks that have been kind of coming out today, and as you guys can see here with the Ghost of Hope, we've got something that he tweeted a little bit earlier. He said, might have something juicy for my Warzone followers in a few hours, and he went absolutely rogue. There were a lot of leaks that he posted on his Twitter, so we'll kind of go over that. Before we jump into it, if you guys are new here, I would really appreciate it if you guys like the video. Subscribe to the channel with your post notifications on, and also comment down below. All right, let's get straight to it. All right, so starting off with Raven Software's post, like I said, guys, you may notice something a little bit different. 150 players across all battle royale modes. Now, they are keeping ranked, which I'm actually super happy about, at 120. I do think that ranked in general is a slower playstyle, obviously, than pubs, and having 150 players would be a little too hectic in my opinion, especially with the kill or the SR cap that they have it at right now. I believe if you get a certain elimination, there's like a max elim SR cap that they have right now in ranked. So with 150 players adding that, it wouldn't really make sense, and it would just kind of make end games a lot more hectic and make ranked in general just a lot more inconsistent. So I'm happy that they're kind of doing that. Also, in addition here, I mean, dude, 150 players, I know a lot of people have been kind of preaching this for the longest time. We needed 150 players to come back for Verdansk because it would be super exciting to just kind of see when the map comes back. If they don't have things that are like that were there in the first place, like 150 players, in my opinion, the original vehicles would be super important. And then just like no gulag tokens, redeploy packs, no, like none of the, you know, BS ways to come back in the game and kind of make it like that authentic BR experience again. Even like older guns. I know there's a couple of leaks here on Ghost of Hope's page, and I'll scroll down a little bit on it. We have the AMAX and the Kilo coming back apparently. I believe he also tweeted about the HDR potentially coming back. So there is a lot of things that are kind of bringing back and giving that original experience. And I think this is what most of the player base wants in general, is just kind of like, I think the movement that we have right now is great. I would personally like to see the bunny hop come back. And I think that also adding a lot of these extra little things like the HDR, the growl, 150 players, if we can get original vehicles back, a lot of that will bring people back and also keep them around. It's just all about, you know, bringing back nostalgic things and then also good updates that will kind of keep people around. So to move on, again, 150 players confirmed by Raven Software. The Ghost of Hope here also is talking about how floating loot is back. Now, this is another huge thing that a lot of people have talked about. You know, I think the backpack system kind of killed all of this, and we've slowly transitioned out of the backpack system. Now they're kind of going back to floating loot, apparently. So this guy's pretty accurate with a lot of his leaks. Like, he hasn't really leaked stuff that isn't true. So I'm gonna, again, these are all not confirmed. It's not confirmed until it's tweeted or posted like by an official Call of Duty account like Raven Software, for example, are really good leaks to kind of talk about, because I think that it strikes a lot of excitement. And as you guys can tell, even in the comments, like Jay God here, it's about damn time. Like, they're bringing back floating loot. I'm back. Plates are finally back in Warzone. Dude, I will say the looting system we have right now is bad because a lot of the loot goes under the map, which is absolutely horrible. So I'm really hoping that the floating loot coming back kind of like eases up that process. They're going all out with this update for sure, is what T-Dog said. Like I said, bro, it's super exciting that we're kind of getting that original feel back to the game. So this is super sick. And I think a lot of people are super excited about it. Stopping power should not come back though. Legend is yapping there, I fear. So hopefully stopping power stays out of the game. And as you can tell with the orange crosshairs here, even this guy has stopping power. So hopefully that this guy does not, or that stopping power does not come back, because that was absolutely miserable to play as a player. All right, now moving on here. This is another one. Red doors coming back. Now, this would be absolutely insane. I remember back in Verdansk, red doors were probably my favorite thing, because a lot of times when you hit these red doors, you would either get put in the sky or you would get put into a red room, which is basically they had advanced UAVs, a lot of loot, gold chests and stuff like that. And it kind of just made the game a lot more fun and random. and when you hit these, you didn't really know what to expect. So I'm hoping that red doors can kind of come back as well, and he said there's currently plans for it, so unsure when that would come back with Verdansk, but it seems like they're trying to bring back a lot of nostalgia in these updates, and I'm curious to kind of see what direction they go with that and continue to grow the game. Lastly, we will talk here a bit of grain of salt. Avalon, if you guys don't know, before Verdansk was actually planned to come back, I believe, I'm not sure what studio started exactly, but there was leaks of a new map called Avalon. A lot of people were reminded that it looked like a lot like Blackout. I never played Blackout, so I was a little unsure of the comparisons. However, I do feel like that this map looked amazing. There is a lot of water here, very similar to like Urzikstan and that giant river kind of like by Cargo. So I kind of wish that they kind of like tightened up the water spots a little bit and maybe just made it like a little bit more land. I think players are fine with water as long as it's not overdone. I think right now that there's just a little bit too much water on Urzikstan, and it just kind of makes like a frustrating experience in my opinion for a lot of players. You're trying to shoot people, stuff like that. It just kind of takes away from the experience in my opinion. So I would personally love to see water not get like completely thrown in the, thrown in the dirt, but Verdansk especially, I hope there's very little water if they are going to add any. I know a lot of people are kind of talking about how the canals and everything are going to have like a waterfall going through it, or dam and summit are going to be like all these water. I really hope they don't do that, and I hope that we can kind of keep the original experience of Verdansk. And then, I don't mind some water here and there, but just don't make it where like 30%, 40% of the map is water, because it just kind of, it's just not, I don't know, like I don't want to camp in the water or fight in the water most of the time. I want to be playing POIs and kind of playing strategically like a normal BR. So very excited to see Avalon kind of come later in the year. They're saying that he is saying it's going to be postponed to late 2025. So initially I believe it was kind of leaked to come out in the fall, which is like October, November maybe. And then now he's saying that it's going to be pushed back to maybe even later and possibly even canned. I think this map would be great if we can have this and Verdansk on rotation. That would be probably the best of both worlds. Like if we could have Verdansk and Avalon both in rotation for big map, that would be amazing. Because I know in the past we've done, I believe, Al Mazrah or Urzikstan, and then there was also 3 Resurgence maps that we had at the same time. So we had Vondel, Ashika, and Rebirth, or Fortunes. No, it was Fortune's Keep. And then I think we've also done Vondel, Fortune's Keep, and Rebirth. There have been 3 Resurgence maps at once with a big map as well. So what I'm hoping is that we can have 2 Resurgence maps. I don't think they'll ever get rid of Rebirth, so hopefully keep Rebirth. And then we could add in Area 99, kind of rotate that out with new maps. And then also the same thing with Verdansk. If we can get Verdansk rotated in with Avalon, if they want to do another map, kind of rotated in with another map. That way we're getting new content, but the things that keep people around, like Verdansk, like Rebirth, I know a lot of people like to stick to that stuff and they don't like to try new things. But at this point, I would just be okay with people just kind of sticking on Verdansk and then trying out new maps as well. We need to be open to trying out new maps. But I think it's totally fine that we can kind of keep the older maps like Rebirth and Verdansk as well. All right, now last little info that Ghost of Hope kind of put out here is says, I say canned for Warzone because it supposedly is the outbreak map for Black Ops 7 zombies from my understanding. I believe they're going to go back to a little bit of like the zombies that we had in Modern Warfare 3, where it's kind of like a DMZ type of vibe, or even like DMZ, I don't know, that kind of like approach. Like it's the extraction mode, or extraction zombies, I believe. I wouldn't be surprised though. We did have Urzikstan on zombies and on the big map for BR as well. So I wouldn't be surprised if they kind of just combine these. And I don't think that they're going to scrap this map completely. Obviously, they had a little bit of change of plans with Verdansk coming back. But I do think that Avalon in general, a lot of people are excited about it, it seems like. And I don't think it would hurt for them to kind of come out with it if it was put along Verdansk so that people can kind of play both. As long as they don't take away Verdansk, I think a lot of the player base is going to be relatively happy where we're at in the game, and I think it could be a super healthy balance between Resurgence and the BR mode and zombies, and we can kind of let all 3 of them thrive instead of trying to combine them all at once. All right, that's gonna be all for the video. And again, if you guys are new here, I would really appreciate it if you guys like the video, subscribe to the channel, their post notifications on, and also comment down below. I'd like to encourage everybody that's in the YouTube comments just to kind of start a discussion. We can all talk about, what we like about Warzone, what we hate about Warzone, and kind of just what's going on in the day-to-day updates for Warzone. Hopefully, I'm praying that Verdansk is great and that we have a very smooth launch out here in March. March 20th, again, is the leaked date. Again, this guy's pretty accurate with this leak, so hopefully March 20th is the date. And it does make sense because Season 2 Battle Pass ends on March 19th, so I think March 20th is kind of when everyone's expecting it. But in general, man, if you guys are here, I appreciate it. We'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.